Nico, what were you most proud about last year at Tennessee?
Yeah, man, I was proud of all the things that we were able to accomplish, man. Just putting Tennessee back on the map, getting us to the college playoffs. A lot of guys in that locker room, had a big part into that, and I was happy to be a part of it.
What do you feel like you learned the most in your first year starting?
Yeah, I learned a lot, man. Just playing in a lot of competitive games, man. Coming from the SEC, you're playing against the best in the world. And yeah, man, I took a lot of great lessons from wins and losses that I had at Tennessee. So I think that was the main thing for me was learning from those losses and how I can get better and improve my game.
Where do you think your game needs to take the next step?
Yeah, I think really my grasp of the whole offense, man. I think really just diving into the details of why we do what we do and why we call this certain play and certain stuff like that. So I think really me just taking control of the offense and having that demand.
A lot of people talked about your exit out of Knoxville, but what went into your decision to want to transfer?
Yeah, man. Ultimately, for me, man, it was me being back home and closer to my family. While competing at the highest level, and that's where UCLA. Once I got that opportunity, it was kind of a no brainer for me. So
A lot of criticism, a lot of commentary about the way everything went down. Do you like the way that you handled your exit?
yeah, do I like it? I definitely could have handled it, a better way. You know, but I'm glad, I wouldn't change anything, for how it happened. But I do want to address the Tennessee fans and let them know that this decision was nothing financial, and that it was strictly a family decision, and me being back closer to my mom and my whole family. So I know there's that narrative out there that that people are running with, and all I can do is be me and focus on me and my future ahead of me.
So focusing on you come into a new school, new offensive system, a lot of learning to do in an offense that struggled at times last year. How much pressure or weight do you think is on your shoulders for this season?
Yeah, for me, I wouldn't say pressure on my shoulders. I think, football is the ultimate team sport. So, I believe in, the 10 other guys that are going to be on the field with me. And, when we kick off week one, that, we're all going to be united and unified together. So I think, as a team, I think, we know we got a chip on our shoulder and, a lot of expectations that we want to succeed.
You mentioned those expectations. How do you handle the outside expectations? Like when people are talking about you and your progression, how do you handle those things?
I really think you just don't look at it, man. You focus on the people you love and the people that are in your corner. And I have a great team. I have a great support. So I'm really just our whole team and Coach Foster's really preaching that to us that we're focused on us and the goals that we have for ourselves. And it's not about proving everybody else wrong, or it's about proving ourselves right. So I think that's the main thing, and being winning coach back to UCLA.
So you're a Long Beach guy, right? You're
Yeah.
back at UCLA, you're in town. Is there any added pressure that comes with being a hometown guy?
For me, no, I don't think so. For me, I find a lot more joy playing in front of a lot of more my family, man. A lot of family didn't get to you know, make it to Tennessee games just because it was a long way and how far it was. So, I think for me it would be just like the old days, man. Having my whole family there and support me and in my last year. So.
You've mentioned the family aspect a lot, talked about being closer to your mom. You've got your brother there with you. How important is family, not just on the football field, but as you progress through your collegiate career?
Yeah, for me, in my culture, Samoan culture, I think, family is the biggest thing to us. It's the most important thing, and we're always together. And I think, that goes back to my main decision and why I came back home. And yeah, man, it means a lot, and in the culture too. So
Coach Foster is trying to bring a different energy to the Bruins and
yeah.
get a player like you, obviously a lot of fanfare, but a guy who can really play ball. You see yourself bringing that swag back to UCLA?
Yeah, man, I think they've always had the swag. I think it's really just bringing that winning culture back to UCLA, man. And I can't wait, man. I'm excited for the opportunity. I know a lot of guys in the locker room are excited for this opportunity, so we got a lot to prove.
So I know you knew some of your teammates just, growing up in Southern California, but there are a lot of guys when you came into that locker room who didn't know you. What do you think you've proven to them so far, and what do you hope to continue to prove?
Yeah, that I'm a regular guy, man. A regular guy that wants to be great. A lot of they probably tend to look at all the stuff on the outside and probably listen to it or don't. I don't know, but just me, introducing myself as, as a regular guy that, I'm here with you and I'm your teammate now. And I think that was my main message to, the guys in the locker room.